Hello, I'm Stan Hall. Welcome to this edition of the Gwinnett Sports Commission's Get in the Game. For the viewers watching today, you may recall a month or so ago we had a special show about the Georgia Swarm, who were entering the Gwinnett Arena as one of our new professional teams here. We were very excited to announce that they were coming. Since then, a lot of things have happened, and I've asked the Georgia Swarm to come back today for our show. Our guest today is Alex Shimke with the Georgia Swarm. And Alex, first of all, thank you for coming back, taking time to be with us today as a follow-up to our first show.
Yeah, absolutely. Time's flying by. The season's only a couple weeks away.
It's flying by, and you know, last time you were here, we talked a little bit about lacrosse. We talked about the Swarm's history. Just to recap for our viewers, you guys relocated here from Minnesota. Obviously, since you made your announcement that you were coming, a lot of things have happened. What all of you guys up to now?
Well, first big thing, we moved down here to Gwinnett County. Really excited to be in the market, obviously full-time now. We had our introductory press conference there this summer, introduced the team, but since then we've had our draft. We had 4 first-round picks number 1, 3, 5, and 6, so we had a loaded draft. We selected Lyle Thompson, number 1 overall, one of the Thompson brothers, the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. So this is a gentleman who's been on SportsCenter, CBS Evening News, one of the best athletes in lacrosse, so we're really excited about the team we have, and right now we're going through training camp, going through the final process of selecting our team.
And Alec, you know, I want to talk a little bit about that draft pick because I'm still a newcomer to lacrosse, but I'm trying every day to learn more about it. But the draft picks that you guys had, from everybody that I've talked to, it was a phenomenal and almost a one-time opportunity to have that kind of talent coming in at once.
Yeah, our owner and general manager, John Arlotta, has been targeting this draft class for probably about 5 years. And through trades and whatnot, assembled 4 first-round picks. It was regarded as maybe the best draft class ever in the league history, so we were able to add talent on both sides of the ball. When you add a guy like Lyle Thompson, who led the NCAA in scoring, to your offense, you know, that improves us a lot on the right side. And then we also got some good left-handed forwards as well as some defensive players. So we have a really young and athletic team, and, you know, the future's looking bright here in Georgia.
Now, Lyle will be joining his brother, who's already on the team, correct?
Correct, yeah. We took his brother Miles Thompson last year, number 3 overall. He was an all-first-team rookie member, another great goal scorer. So you have those 2 gentlemen on the right side, and their chemistry is absolutely outstanding. Fans are going to love watching them.
I remember when you had the press conference and you talked a little bit about your draft picks. It was almost obvious, again to me, as a little bit of a novice here, but just the chemistry that those 2 guys had as brothers, now as teammates, you could actually feel it in the room that they were both comfortable to be together again.
Yeah, and they're both Native Americans. Lacrosse is a Native American sport, so when they were born, they were literally given a lacrosse stick. So there are 4 brothers in the family. We have 2 of them on the same team. These guys have played lacrosse together their whole life. You notice the chemistry. They love playing together. They're, you know, rooming together on the road. They're basically inseparable. So on the floor, you're going to see that chemistry firsthand, behind the back passes, no look passes, that kind of stuff. It's going to make for great entertainment. Now,
one of the brothers, the one that you drafted this year, and again to try to use analogies that for people like me that are more comfortable with the Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
There's a similar award that takes place in NCAA lacrosse.
Yep.
Tell me the name of that.
Yeah, Tia Wharton Trophy. So Lyle and Miles in 2014, they shared the award. Really cool. They were the first ever Native Americans to ever win the award. And then last year, Lyle won the award again. So he was back-to-back, basically NCAA lacrosse Division I Player of the Year, which is absolutely amazing.
So really, for the last 2 years, for that award, it's now represented on the Georgia Swarm, playing right here in the Infinite Energy Arena. That's pretty exciting.
You bet. Yep, we got some of the best players to have played the game in the last decade right here in Georgia.
The other thing that I was intrigued by, Alec, was that you have a person you drafted this year who's a local Atlanta guy who actually played his high school lacrosse at St. Pius. Tell them a little bit about him.
Yeah, Rick Lewis. He was actually a captain at Ohio State University, 4-year player. Just speaks testament to the talent here in the Atlanta or greater Atlanta area. Just these lacrosse players are growing up here and they're going to Division I schools. Rick is a hard worker. You know, he's on our practice squad right now, going through the tryout process, and has a bright future. We've really been impressed with him.
So you finally got the draft picks done. You announced that. Great excitement for that. You're very close to the opening game, so you guys are in training camp now, is that correct?
Yep, we're
Tell
doing.
us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, we're in 3 weekends of training camp right now in Toronto. So basically, we have a 20-man roster and 4 practice players. We have about 35 guys in camp right now. So a lot like the NFL, it's a grueling, couple weekends.
Everybody doesn't make it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We've already made some cuts. Everyone's job is on the line, really, just like any professional sport. Lots of grueling practices. We have preseason games. And for us, because our practice time is limited, being in a smaller professional league, the time is really valuable. So it's important for our guys to build chemistry and get that rhythm going before our first game.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be really interesting for our fans here in the Atlanta area to get to know these players. I think you're right. I think you're going to find out that the knowledge of the game, aside from me a little bit, the knowledge of the game, I think it's here already. I think that lacrosse is such a big thing here on our high school levels. Club lacrosse, I think it's just a natural time and perfect timing, if you will, to bring in professional lacrosse to the Atlanta area.
Yeah, it's the fastest growing sport in the country. All the kids are playing it these days. Georgia is the 3rd fastest growing state in the country when it comes to lacrosse. And the great thing about the sport is it's a blend of a lot of different things, like basketball with pick and rolls and the 5-on-5 play, hockey, with the rules and the goalies and the 5 runners out there, and even football with the contact. So maybe you're not familiar with lacrosse, that's totally fine. You can find other sports, in lacrosse, and that's why a lot of kids love playing it these days, and parents too love watching it. It's a very fast-paced game.
Absolutely. One of the other things, Alex, you guys talked about at the press conference, I want to get a little bit of an update on it, was the fact that you wanted to get involved in the community as far as some of the people we just alluded to, some of the local lacrosse teams, the local lacrosse associations. What kind of luck have you had with that?
Oh, it's been fantastic. We've had a few of our players already out hosting youth clinics here in Gwinnett County. Our leading scorer last year, Shane Jackson, he's actually going to be the varsity coach at Collins Hill this coming spring. And Kyle Matisse, another one of our star players, is doing a Sticks in the School program here in Suwanee at a middle school. So our guys are getting really involved with the local lacrosse groups. We have a lot of groups coming out this season with group outings and whatnot. So our players are really accessible, and they love to grow the game, and that's their passion. So we've had a blast so far meeting the community.
One of the things that I've noticed, again, trying to get up to speed on lacrosse a little bit, the athleticism that you have to play lacrosse, it's incredible. I mean, because as you said, you're mixing a lot of sports that we might be more familiar with as far as the pick and rolls with the basketball and the rules of hockey, but it's a constant movement from the time you start to the time you finish. These guys are great athletes.
Yeah, they are. They're coming from the best schools, top D1 programs, Ohio State, Syracuse, Cornell, Duke. It's called the fastest game on 2 feet. A lot of up and down, a lot of transition. You'll see about 25 goals a game. So these are, guys we just did our training camp. They're running 4.5 40s. So they're right up there with the NFL guys as far as the speed. So you're going to see a lot of fast-paced action.
And I do think it's interesting based on what you said. A lot of the lacrosse that historically, I should say, has been sort of a northeastern, as far as our country is concerned, sport. But lacrosse has moved into the South and the Southeast fairly rapidly. If you want to talk about the college level, Duke is a well-established university here that's done well in lacrosse for years now.
Yeah, and we've drafted a lot of players over the years while we were in Minnesota, and even here now in Georgia from North Carolina and Duke. So, yeah, you're seeing a lot of players that maybe grew up in the area and went out and played on the East Coast. They're coming back and they're helping grow the game as coaches and whatnot. And more colleges are adding it as a club sport and even getting sanctioned at the Division I through the Division III levels. So it's got a very bright future here, and I think the Atlanta area is going to be a hotbed for lacrosse very soon.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, Alec, but when we come back, I want to talk about the preparations for that opening game, which is, as you said, a couple of weeks away, and we'll get into a little bit of details about that. We're talking today with Alex Shimke from the Georgia Swarm. They're getting ready to start their inaugural season at the Infinite Energy Arena. We can't wait for it to happen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
The NLL is unique to watch because it's a mix of many different sports, and it's lacrosse like a lot of people haven't seen it before.
The pace of the indoor game at the professional level is a lot faster.
It's called the fastest game on 2 feet for a reason. The ball's moving extremely fast, the players are super athletic, and the tempo of the game is just, goal after goal after goal.
30-second shot clocks means a lot of chains of possessions. The contact aspect make it just that more exciting.
Be creative because lacrosse is a creative sport.
Be able to navigate and pick tiny corners in a goal or make tough passes.
There's never a dull moment in a lacrosse game. Endless amounts of goals, you know, hard hitting, fighting, aggressive, everything that a spectator would want.
Lacrosse is on the rise, and I think this is a great opportunity to see some of the best players in the world.
I'm going to give it my all. I want the fans to see that because I believe that that's the way that lacrosse should be played.
Something special happens every game, and you know, if you close your eyes for 1 second, you're going to miss it.
Welcome back to the show. We appreciate you being with us today. Before the break, we're talking today with Alec Shimke, who is with the Georgia Swarm. And Alec, before the break, we talked about a lot of the things that had happened since the press conference this summer when you announced that you guys were relocating from Minnesota to Atlanta. Now, as we sit here today, you're only a few weeks away from that home opener. How exciting is that for you?
It's very exciting. You know, the first professional team here in Georgia, and now we're about to play our first game a couple weeks at Infinite Energy Arena. January 9th, a Saturday.
That's right around the corner.
Right around the corner, 7 o'clock face-off. We're playing the Toronto Rock. So there's 2 divisions in our league, and we're in the East Division. Last year, Toronto won the East Division, and they played in the championship game. They lost, but very talented team, so it'll be a great matchup. You know, we have a young squad. We actually beat Toronto in the playoffs a couple years ago, so we have a good rivalry going with the Toronto Rock.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the league. You said that you're in is it divided into 2 divisions?
Yep.
Tell us what teams are represented divisionally.
Yeah, so there's 5 teams here in the U.S., 4 teams in Canada. It's a 9-team league, East Division and a West. So in the East, you have Georgia, New England, Toronto, Buffalo, and Rochester, New York. Okay. And then on the West, you have Colorado, Vancouver, Calgary, and Saskatchewan. So it's a good mix of East and West Coast. Makes for some fun travel when we go out to the West Coast.
Sounds like it. Who is the defending champion?
Defending champion is Saskatchewan. They actually relocated as well this offseason. They originally played in Edmonton, so they're in their first year in Saskatchewan, and we'll be playing them as well this season.
So you're opening up against Toronto, who you said was the winner of your division last year. So what do you know about the team? Is it still a strong team?
Yeah, they're a strong team. They got a lot of veterans. We actually have a couple players that used to play for the Swarm on their team. They're a big physical team. Toronto area is known for box lacrosse, so they have a lot of Canadian players that have grown up playing the game and live in the Toronto area. So it'll be a tough opponent. Like I said, we beat them in the playoffs a couple years ago, and it's always been a fun series playing against them.
Yeah. So the first game is right around the corner. I know that first game is going to be an exciting game and a memorable event for you guys as well, as far as being the first game here as the Georgia Swarm. What are some of the things you have planned for that game? Yeah,
well, we're going to be rolling out a red carpet. We're going to have a cover band there. We're really making it kind of a party, a celebration for lacrosse here in the greater Atlanta area. One thing you'll notice about our games too is there's a lot of entertainment, music playing. It
never stops, does it?
Yeah, the music plays the whole game, which fans absolutely love. The kids absolutely love it. Our games are kind of like a party, we like to say. So there's going to be just so much entertainment going on in addition to the game. The average sports spectator, I think, is really going to be surprised and really catch on quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for folks who are watching today, and this is the most important part, I know you guys are expecting a big crowd for the home opener. How are folks watching today? How can they get tickets if they don't have them yet?
Yeah, so georgiaswarm.com. You can visit online to buy tickets. You can also visit the Infinite Energy Arena box office to buy tickets, or you can call us at 844-4GA-SWARM. So lots of options for single game tickets. We have a 6-pack, and we also have a 10-game pack as well if you want to catch all the games this season.
And we're expecting a full house.
Absolutely. We're expecting max capacity game 1.
Alec, thank you for coming back and sort of updating where you were from the summer. I know that all I've heard is excitement about the Swarm, and I, for one, can't wait to see that first game.
Thank you, Stan, for having us.
Thank you for coming by today. That's all the time we have today. If you have comments about today's show or ideas for future shows, you can reach us at the phone number or the email address shown at the end of the show. I'm Stan Hall. Thanks for being with us. See you next time on Get in the Game. Goodbye.